Alright, good morning everybody. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me very well, so we'll only do this shot for a moment or two. But yeah, just out this morning, getting a quick ride in. We're gonna find a quiet spot and do a bit of a quick sit down and a bike chat. We're gonna talk about the bike we're on this morning. This is my electric sort of recon bike. It's a real special bike, a real special build. Can't wait to share it with you guys. That's the preview from the cockpit, my giant grocery basket. All right, let's get to the park without incident here, and we'll talk some more.
Okay, let's go to the guy with the famous wife, KJ7TNA. Well, no, Dan, this morning, his wife is the chief test pilot for the Boeing MAX. 5 minutes ago, it was solid about 6 a.m.
Top of the morning to you, everybody. It's KJ7WQK, Steve, coming at you this morning from beautiful Renton, Washington, down at the Renton Municipal Airport, which I think is, maybe it's not Floyd Bennett named. This is the Wiley Post station, location from which Wiley Post flew out of on one of his last flights, if not his last flight. Great adventurer from the Pacific Northwest. Beautiful spot we're in right here. Stopped down here this morning, took the ride down here this morning to basically do a bike check and introduce you guys to a bike that I hope to show you a lot on this channel and take a lot of adventures with. This is a KHS Tandemania Sport tandem mountain bike. Mountain bike in air quotes, of course. You know, most tandems have you know, a little bit more of a road and touring bent to them, but this is a 26-inch wheeled bike with fairly large volume, you know, clearance for tires and things, and definitely was sold with, you know, the mountain type vibe to it once upon a time. So what I want to do with you guys here today, unscripted, so bear with me. Gonna try to take you through first a full bike check of the bike, give you a little background on how we came by this bike, how we iterated it up into the trim that it's in right now, and why I think this goes so well with amateur radio, of course. You know, the channel, comms and mobility, that's the vibe here. We're trying to get out of the house and have some fun. Ride motorbikes, ride bicycles, get some fresh air, get some exercise in sometimes, and hopefully use the radio, right, as much as possible. But so excited about this bike. The sharper-eyed among you will already see what's so exciting about this tandem, besides the fact that it's a bicycle built for two. We've got a powerful rear hub motor installed on this bike now, and this is not the way this bike came to us, although it was already electrified when I procured this. So let's start with the bike itself and a super quick walk around of it. Up front you can see we have an amazing cargo basket, and this is a very old school traditional walled branded paperboy style cargo basket. Anybody knows me knows that I love my racks and baskets and cargo bikes. All my motos have racks and trunks on them. All my bicycles have some provision for carrying gear. When I saw this tandem come up for sale originally, it did have the basket on it already, and it had a small 250 watt electric front hub motor installed on it. Found this bike used, okay? There's a lot of different ways to get into cycling, and one of the best ways for, or I should say, one of the best ways for a person who has rode enough in their life and maybe has had some experience with bikes, but maybe has been out of it for a little while, but you want to get back to it and get back into it, and you don't want to break the bank. We all know bikes can really empty the pockets quickly. It's another expensive hobby, just like amateur radio. This bike was listed for $660 for sale on the local OfferUp, and had been listed for months and wasn't moving. Wasn't quite in the condition and trim you see here now. I've made a number of changes to it, but the bike itself, the basket was there. It had saddles on it, it had pedals on it, it had rubber on the wheels, so it was a working bicycle. Although the electric motor was damaged the day I went to go pick it up, which resulted in significant savings for us in terms of picking up the bike from the previous owner. Felt bad for the guy, but he damaged the bike himself right before bringing it out to show us, and was unable to demonstrate the motor working at all. As a result, to make a very long story short, without any malice of forethought or intentionally trying to lowball this individual, I was ready to pay them. They had already, over the course of the discussion via chat, had already lowered the price to around $500, I think was what he was asking for it that morning. Were it working when we got there? He broke it. I ended up leaving with the bike. We took it off his hands for $200. I knew when we brought it home we weren't going to probably keep the 250 watt motor for very long. It was very uninspired. Let's come back around to the other side of the bike real quick because it's kind of dark on this side. So at any rate, you can get involved in cycling for as much money as you have or want to spend, but you can also always, especially if you know what you're looking at and know which end of a wrench to turn yourself, if you know, can take a bike home and lube a chain and inflate some tires and check some handlebar bolts and check your dropouts to make sure everything's on there that needs to be on there, as tight as it needs to be, so you can ride it safely. You can get a heck of a lot of bike for pennies on the dollar, right? Please always remember that. Obviously, the whole world is full of buyer beware opportunities for gear like this, and you know, we bought the thing and it was kind of broken. Took it home. My friend JJ and I did fix the busted wires that had been ripped bodily out of the side of the front hub motor, and managed to get the bike up and running and riding long enough to enjoy it for a day or two, and to immediately know that we needed more power, baby. So what do we got back here now? Okay, we took the bike off the road. We did a little bit of research into hub motor kits, and instead of a 24 volt 250 watt front hub motor, we opted to go to the bays of E and pick up a CSC branded 48 volt 1500 watt motor. Okay, check the laws in your local area. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and I'm not a bicycle building advisor, and this isn't bicycle building advice either. This is just what I did here in my region. We can order these, we can get these. This is a bike that has both pedal assist and a throttle. I'm pretty sure that 1500 watts is above what the Class E or Class C, whatever the heck the e-bike rules are for this kind of thing. So I might be pushing it the slightest bit in terms of legality power-wise. I'm not that worried about it. I'm really not. The bike is fast though. It'll do darn near 35 miles an hour under throttle only with a single rider on it, and will do darn near the exact same with two. I was making 31, 32, 33 miles an hour headway with my buddy JJ riding Stoker with me on initial tests of the bigger motor once we got it on. Somebody's taxiing back there. They're getting their act together. They're gonna get in the air here in a minute. The crows are complaining about it. Get on. Get on with yourselves. Okay, so yeah, basically, remember to check the legality in your particular area. You may have a little bit stricter laws and a little bit more robust enforcement going on where you live. I don't know. So if you're able to get something that has north of 750 watts, a 1,000 watt motor, a 1,500 watt motor, and you feel comfortable installing that, obviously you've got to consider the platform that you're installing a kit like this on. My friend Colin of Cycle Fab helped me out with the torque arm for the rear hub motor. This motor came with like fairly laughable torque washers that were intended to catch the underside of the dropout and attempt to contain this monster in place. And Colin wisely, recommended that I put this on my very first visit to see him. These torque arms will immobilize the axle in the dropout and prevent it from literally pulling itself right out of the dropout under power. So kind of an important little matter to be aware of. E-bikes are, just that one step above your regular bicycle in terms of mechanical complication. I sourced the battery pack for the electric motor separately from the motor itself. You can see here the one I went with. This one, so I got the motor itself off of eBay. Thought I'd involve as many different vendors as possible. I don't know why, but I ended up on Amazon for the battery. And this is a 20 amp hour, 48 volt lithium ion battery pack from someone called unitpackpower.com. Absolutely love this hard plastic case that it came enclosed in. It's got a great power switch. That's my charging port, of course. And you might have seen on the other side, this does have its own independent power meter or gauge. Okay, so you'll get a little bar display on the gauge. And then, what's that? A USB port. How thoughtful. How thoughtful. And that is a working USB port behind there. I've checked it out and charged my phone off of it. Can you imagine how nice it would be to have your phone out there and be able to use your navigation all day or listen to music while you're riding, and top it up if you need to do so off of the abundant 20-hour battery pack. I was stoked about that. Didn't even know that there was going to be a USB port on there until it arrived. Personal customizations we've done to the bike, nothing major. I had some chill old school Changshin hybrid on-road off-road knobbies. These are like a 195 or a 2.1 in casing size. This frame will probably take even bigger tires. I think I had a 2.3 inch Maxxis on there initially. At the beginning it looked really beefy. Not the best road riding tire, however, and these are just wonderful for the road. This is a classic tread. We've been riding treads like this on mountain bikes since the 80s, and this center line tread thing, okay, whenever you see a tire like this, that's actually brilliant for keeping you smooth and tracking straight. Easier to ride one-handed, easier to ride no hands, and in general is going to track straighter through turns than a full knobby ever will on pavement. So, and especially with a tandem that has so much weight on it, full hardcore knobbies will wander around on pavement. You'll actually feel a wiggle happening when you're trying to track straight. So this bike actually came with like pizza cutter slicks on it. Never been the biggest fan of those slicks. They were close in size, volume-wise to these, but they were just super smooth tread. Obviously the attempt there, or the intention there, is to get the lowest rolling resistance possible. The previous owners, of course, were confining their activities probably to mostly pavement. But yeah, got our own tires on there. The pedals were great. They were adequate. The fronts are a platform on one side and an SPD clip on the other, so I love a casual clip pedal like that. I'll take that all day long. Stoker's got regular platform cages, and that's perfect for the Stoker for now. It's casual back there, especially because we've got the electric motor to assist. I can clip in if I really want to be, you know, cyclist boy for the day. Threw some fresh grips on here. I'm a bit of a mountain biker, and so when I saw these fun Vans grips, you know, Vans BMX, baby, represent. I went ahead and grabbed those at my local shop, GHY Bikes here in Renton. It's nice to have a good relationship with a local shop if you can. I'm also showing you my very handsome Selle San Marco cork rubber gel super comfy seats. They both have a little bit of suspension down at the back that you can see there. I'm not the biggest on proper cycling gear these days. You know, if I need to go out and rock a ride north of 30 or 40 miles, I'll probably dig around and try to find an old pair of cycling shorts with a pad in them, you know, to protect myself. But my butt's pretty hard at this point in time in my career. I've been riding for a long time, and I just go with a plusher saddle anymore than I used to back in the day, and it works all right for me. So, bike like this, powerful bike with a fairly big battery. I have been absolutely blown away by the level of assistance provided by the bike itself. This particular kit was sub $400, and that was motor, the rear hub motor mounted in a wheel, this display, which is highly programmable. This has 5 different levels of pedal assist that it can provide you. All right, one is called eco mode. Let's get in focus. Thank you, camera. Come on, camera, stick with me now. Okay. Everything above level 3 is kind of ludicrous, you guys, honestly. I ride this thing around in level 1 and level 2 most of the time. If I need the power, I hit it with the throttle. Okay. This is on right now and displaying. I'm showing a little over 50 volts, 50.8 right now. This we added ourselves. My friend JJ helped me with the build on this, and this is just a switchable thumb throttle that has a full voltmeter. The kit came with a full grip throttle. And frankly, how the heck is that supposed to work when you also have gears, right? It was a full slide throttle, like a moto throttle type situation. It also lacked a actual voltmeter, etc. So didn't really need the switch here, just came with this throttle. And so, you know, I have one more on switch than usual because I turn on my battery and then I turn on this switch before I hit the display, which brings up the full power of the bike. But the voltmeter on display on the dash is much more accurate and I think a better indicator of your remaining range than these optimistic battery bars that are on all these displays. You can see here we have about 57 miles on the build so far. Really enjoying it so far. My longest ride has only been a little over 20 miles, and we had over 50% battery left at the end of that 20-mile ride, and that was a ride with 2 people and with liberal use of the throttle at that time. So that really gave me a good indicator that, okay, when I have a Stoker, we can go out and really have fun and ride this thing at even all the way up to mid power, and should be able to reasonably expect 20 miles plus range around here. Okay, and we've got hills everywhere around here in the Pacific Northwest. I rode down a hill to get here to hang out with you guys this morning, and I'm gonna ride back up a hill to get home. So that's basically the bike check. I mean, I'm not gonna go through components and things like that. It's all low to mid-range Shimano gear sets and things like that. A person can literally go broke replacing cranks and lightening things up. We don't need any of that. We got a steel bike. We got 1,500 watts ready to back us up to get out of any hole we ride down into. I don't need to lighten a thing on this bike. This bike it flies, it really flies. It feels amazing, even just pedaling along at a very low assist level. It just gives you incredible confidence. So this is a bike that we hope to do some activations on, like PODAs, things like that. You know, and also just to get out and get around and tour and try to check into the local nets from time to time from off the back of the bike. So I've been walking around in a circle around the bike for almost 20 minutes now. I think we'll call it a pretty good bike check and walk around. Let's check our one major safety feature. That came on the bike. I was pretty delighted about that particular bell. Here's the most important safety feature we added to the bike ourselves. Boom. Okay, a mirror. This is the Miracle mirror, which I've called the Mirror Cycle mirror my whole life, but it is Miracle. It's like embossed on the back of this. You can barely see it there. Boom. Okay, this mirror is the best bicycle mirror that you can possibly have, and everybody needs a mirror on a bike that they're riding on the road. You can do the helmet mirror thing, that's fine too. I'm not tripping. I even had a mirror mounted back here, a little bit smaller one, the Cycle Ops Third Eye. It's almost the same view size, it really is, but lacks the full adjustability of this stem. The reason why this stem is so good is you can loosen the Allen wrench right here the slightest bit, change your angle forward and back. This one I leave a little bit looser so that I can change that angle, and we've got that angle here as well. So we got complete adjustability. Your field of view from the cockpit looking back is perfect. None of your body is obscuring the view. You can see everybody coming up behind you with a mirror like this. It gives incredible peace of mind. It's a huge, huge safety feature. Am I driving that point home enough for you? Get a mirror, okay? If you're riding on the road, get a mirror and relax. Feel great. Know what those crazies are doing behind you. Okay. All right, well, we are going to wrap on the bike check. I'm gonna pause here. I'm gonna turn on my radio. I'm gonna see which net might be going on right now and see if we can't catch a little net chatter before we leave the park here this morning. And gosh, I thank you for checking out the bike. I hope you like the bike. I hope you're excited to go out on some rides with me. I may work on, you know, getting some sort of on-bike rig, a chest rig or a helmet rig of some kind. So at some point soon here, we'll be able to do a little bit of, you know, on the move footage as well. But we're working with what we got here for this morning. I hope you can hear the excitement in my voice about the tandem. The season is really blooming right now. Real cyclists have been out for the last couple of months already, going nuts. I'm a little late to the party. It's already late June, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a good time. Let's turn the radio on though and see who's out talking right now, huh?
These things are huge, and like you were saying a bit ago about polishing them and all that, and that's a big thing. I mean, one thing I did notice is that they're constantly cleaning those, you know, like waxing them. Constantly. They got workers on those big yachts, and I don't know how big they are, you know, 50, 100 feet long. Huge yachts tied up there at the yacht. But anyway, that was kind of a neat experience, but I was able to qualify to cook chili there 2 times, and I come in second place both years in the state cook-off. Boys down there in Newport Beach. But anyway, hey, I'm gonna get me some coffee. Good to talk to you, Dave, and I'll catch you later. And don't forget, I keep the 220 radio on. If I'm in the ham shack, I'll hear you. Every so often I'll give you a call, and sometimes I raise you. Anyway, I'll catch you later on, Dave. And 60KO KB6W.
All right, Steve. Yeah, no, if I'm not doing something else, I switch it on. You know, I give you a shout on there sometimes, but I guess it's just timing. signs, but anyway, I'm sure I'll catch you on that.
I'm pretty sure this is the local boater's net
So enjoy the rest of the day.
that we've got this morning here.
Always good to hear you out there.
Let's try not to drop our phone into Lake Washington. Well, that's Seawog. Oof. Don't want to swim down there. Isn't this a fun spot to hang out, though?
Are you monitoring today? It's a perfect double. Don't know who I double with. Let's see if I have it. Okay, let's try it again. KE6LGE, Big Al in San Antonio. You monitoring today?
That's one of the blue tubes taken to the skies. Maybe headed to Everett? I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. I think they go up to Everett. This is just a quick postscript to the video, guys. It is indeed Clayton L. Scott Airfield. Sorry for the loud ass construction noises in the background. That's just, they're completely repaving, rebuilding, resetting Renton right now. So Clayton L. Scott, he's a aviator who evidently predated Charles Lindbergh. Cool thing about this plaque right here is that there's actually a QR code on it that takes you directly to a website with more information about Clayton L. Scott. I'm going to include a short screen cap of that website for any of you who might be interested. But that's about it for this video. This is Kilo Juliet 7 Whiskey Quebec Kilo Steve signing off for now. Thanks, you guys.